Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now record. Do you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good afternoon and thanks for tuning in to the Alternative Dig Talk TV. This is the Mighty Drive Extra and my name is Kenneth Rwemirembe. This afternoon I'm very blessed to host some influential youth, if I may say. They are youth with respect here in our country, Uganda, because of their roles they play. But I thank you for joining us. We are streaming live on all our social media platforms at the Alternative Dig Talk TV, TikTok, YouTube, as well as Facebook. You can always follow us for more information and amazing information. Information you can always rely on to make an informed decision. In the studios this afternoon, I have Mr. Ocaya Kelvin. He's the aspiring LOC 5 Lord Councillor, Makerere University, as well as the Deputy National Youth Coordinator for the Alliance for National Transformation. I also have a very brilliant lady, Miss Natasha Ahereza. He's the Head of Communications and Partnerships from Youth Line Forum. She is also the NRM National General Secretary, Youth League. So I'm very honored to have you here. I will start with you, Madam Natasha. Say hi to our viewer.
Hello viewers. Good afternoon to all of us. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. I'm very happy and glad to be hosted here on a digital talk show TV. And I can't wait to see what we have for the young people today. Thank you.
Well, that is it from her. And today we are taking a look at how the youth are getting involved in our politics and governance here in our country, Uganda. We've heard of the youth losing interest in governance-related issues. So we want to see how can the youth now, what is their role? What is the role of young people in the fight for good governance? Because we believe that without good governance, we can never have development. So among the guests I have also is Mr. Ocaya. Please say hello to our viewer.
Good evening, good afternoon, viewers. I would like to thank you for hosting me for this talk show, and I look forward towards the discussion. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I will start with the Honorable Lady. We've been when we talk about the youth and their involvement in politics, what do you think is the role of young people in the fight for good governance? What could be their role in your own view?
Thank you so much for such a good question. First of all, I want to put a disclaimer that what you have said, that young people have lost interest in our politics of this country. Young people have not lost interest, but young people are having few key issues they are highlighting that they want to know about. Like there are some questions towards the government and maybe the ruling party. And one of those, it's where I am now going to highlight their role in fighting for good governance. Youth are saying, we are the now and the future. But what is that future where we are not involved? Youth are saying, we have democracy, we have voted, we have put leaders in power, but why don't they want to be accounted for? So literally, it's about accountability and the youth being brought on board to be part of the decisions and the policies that are being passed on behalf of them. Youth of this country, actually the now generation, we are very lucky that young people are exposed to social media. That's why you find right now we are live on TV and people are watching us discuss. I want also first, before I continue, appreciate the fact that young people of this country have taken up the role of using social media to account for people, and in that way we have seen how they have exposed some of the government officials, some of individuals in a way of bringing out corruption. So I think how young people should fight for good governance, they should use those spaces to bring out what they have. Let's say if you have been working maybe somewhere, you have found people participating in corruption and you have an evidence, expose them, bring them out. You get, that's how we are going to maybe a little bit fight for good governance in this country.
Well, all right. Thank you, Mr. Ocaya. The same question goes to you. What do you think are the roles of the youth or young people in the fight for good governance? Maybe some of the roles that Ms. Natasha Ahereza has not talked about that you think of are very vital for good governance.
I think the biggest challenge we have in Uganda is the aspect of bad governance. And the moment the government is not serving the interest of the people, what happens is people lose hope. And that is something I think the government of Uganda should really focus on, because, you know, good governance must balance interest of every citizen, irrespective of your political affiliation, irrespective of your religious or cultural or tribal. But the biggest mistake the regime in this power in power that has made is to demotivate the young people. When you move around, I think about 70% of the young people don't want to involve themselves in politics. Why? Because it has been inbred in their head that politics is dirty, that politics is not the space to be. But, you know, it's very important with the young people that we need to know that citizenship, by virtue, is through participation. You cannot say that you're a citizen of Uganda and you sideline yourself in the political processes. Because when you elect leaders to go into those public offices, you are making a deliberate and a cardinal decision for the interest of the country, for contemporary and future. So if you do not participate in this political process, then you are killing your country. And the young people are the pillars of this country. This country stands on them because they are the able people who have the brains, who have the energy, who have the ideas that can transform this nation and make this nation the country they want for themselves and also for the future generation. So the mere fact that since we have been blessed with democracy, where it's open for any person, you know, to participate in the political process, it's important that young people have to come up. There are different ways that they can participate. It can be by offering themselves in the, you know, by offering themselves to become candidates. Like for me, I have decided to offer myself to run for Lord Chancellor, LC5, Makerere University. That is one way of, you know, participating in the political process. And then also another way can be through advocacy. The moment you have some ideas and knowledge about civic engagement, make use of the available spaces to be able to sensitize your fellow young people that it is important you must go and vote. Because
all right. I want to ask you a question from that specific issue you've talked about. There have been allegations that that environment for activism, that environment for any other, especially you now coming from the opposition, Alliance for National Transformation, that the ground has not been very favorable for you, maybe to conduct your campaigns, to deliver the messages to your people. How do you rate the environment? Is it that hostile like they are talking about?
Well, the mere fact that we operate in such an arcade political atmosphere, of course the regime in power, you know, tries to do all kind of immoral things that are against the, you know, the ethical odds of the community to serve to their own advantage. Of course, on record there are content online showing, you know, police harassing, especially the supporters, and young people, you know, fighting, you know. So it's bound, you know, upon us to understand the mandate of why this political process is happening. To answer your question, unless we fix the political environment that we're operating in right now and make it very ethical, very transparent, and respect the element of human rights and dignity, then people are going to deter themselves.
Now back to you, Ms. Natasha. You've heard from Mr. Ocaya what he's talking about. The NRM government, now we can't fail to talk about the NRM government, and we are happy that you represent it here. So the NRM government is believed to have made the ground very hostile towards the opposition, towards anyone who comes out to talk about anything bad. This, don't you think, leaves out the youth and the fear to participate in their governance-related programs?
First of all, when it comes to the period of elections, it's not about NRM. We have democracy as the country, and every after 5 years we vote, and we vote in the hands of the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission, we all know and believe that it's a non-partisan body that actually accommodates all the parties to participate. The mere fact that we are seeing all our presidential aspirants traversing the whole country looking for votes, that alone shows you that we are participating in democracy.
But the NRM government is the one in power, and you are said to use state resources to favor yourselves in power. You talked about the presidential candidates who are in this race. You saw what happened in Gulu. Most of the people who were beaten up are youth trying to participate in the governance of their country, show support to their leaders. And this is a deliberate move by the government.
All I can say, I want to actually just now, my advice goes to young people of the country who have actually wished to participate in the electoral processes or electoral campaigns. Because also you need to know that it's also not a must for you to, you know, be on the behinds of a presidential aspirant moving the whole country. You're here, you are an eligible voter, you're 18 and above, but I doubt if you have been to any presidential aspirant campaigns. These young people who comes to political rallies come because they want to see their presidential aspirants. You get? Another thing I want to tell you is that UPDF and Uganda police, their role is to protect and make sure there is order and peace. And I also want to tell you that, you see, like how they say, a snake can bite you once provoked, but if you leave it to move, you can also move and walk your way. There is nothing like police can wake up to beat those young people or harass them. I'm not saying I'm supporting it. I actually, I really don't want to see actually those young people suffer. But they're the ones that provoke this police. Yesterday, His Excellency Chagulanyi was in Nakawa. I stay in Ntinda, that is Nakawa West. He was in Nakawa West yesterday and in Nakawa East. From morning up to like 1, I was in Ntinda the whole morning. I watched how like they were preparing and everything. Guess what? Not for us to wake up on a rally of borders of young people from Kamocha, actually causing jam on people, not for them to walk because a presidential aspirant was coming. And police was trying to tell these people, you know, when our presidential aspirants are nominated, they're given guidelines. And these guidelines are publicly introduced to us also for us to read them. These presidential aspirants are given roads they should use going to the venues where they are supposed to campaign or have their rallies from. We have to all believe that His Excellency Chagulanyi targets centers where people are for him to cause chaos. And apart from him, the people who are on ground who are his foot soldiers, if they were doing a rally in a peaceful way, it would be okay. You want to tell me when they were in Arua, you didn't see what they did to a lady who was selling Amirunji? Because they were interested in Amirunji, and the lady, I think she also thought this is a target audience, I'll make money here. But when they appeared, they mashed everything on.
There are allegations that the very security operatives or even some elements in the government come there, involve themselves in those very camps we think are for these opposition figures, just to commit crimes and portray a different image for these political parties. Are you saying it is good for the security personnel to brutalize the people like we saw in Gulu? Whatever the case, was that called for in any way? And
no,
as people,
like I
as
said,
the
I
NRM
don't
government?
support it. Like I said, I don't support it.
But it's being done
and you
under
see,
your leadership as the NRM.
No. Right now, we are in a political campaign. We are not about a ruling party and leadership. Right now, also His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is also a candidate, not a president. You get? When people vote for him 15th January and he wins again and he swears in May, we shall not call him again the president of Uganda, because I'm 100% sure that you people are going to vote for him and he's going to win. You get? Because he has, you know, everything is there for him to be voted
But
for.
he is accused
So
of using government institutions
exactly. You see how you
to
have brought
harass
it up?
the opposition.
You see like how you have brought it up. He is accused.
Yes.
There are allegations. No one has an evidence. We have
But
tribunals.
we
have
have seen what happened in Gulu. We saw how the opposition candidate, Honorable Chagulanyi, his supporters were beaten in Barara and how his supporters were arrested.
The challenge is we see what comes on media. That's what we all see. You're here seated, a video appears on social media, a police beating someone, but deep down you don't know where it has come from. I didn't see people discussing where foot soldiers of NUP were beating a woman traffic officer. Did you see that video?
But
they were beating her so badly. And I was like, okay, this was not called for. And if that woman was actually holding a gun, I was like, what if this woman, you know, because, you know, they say ladies are short-tempered, blah, blah. What if that lady picked her gun and shoot one of them? They were going to say NRM, Museveni, ruling party. So I need to tell you that young people are also stubborn. I took my time, I watched all the videos of Sanga in Barara. You get? You know, yeah, we have our tribe in Western where even people, they are cattle, they can even graze in the middle of the road and they cross and walk over because those are their farms. They now pinned the people who were standing somewhere holding their sticks. The sticks they used to graze cows, and they pinned them that those sticks were going to be used to beat those young people, which was not true. You people, you didn't look at the videos where some of the foot soldiers of Bobi Wine were having gloves, and those gloves were pinned with nails. You didn't see that. You get it? So I also want us to always have two parties. I'm not defending the NRM government, because also where it has not done good, I can talk about
In
it.
this, where do you say they have done wrong? In this particular campaign period, especially towards the youth.
In this particular campaign, I cannot blame the ruling party or NRM, because it alone, it's traversing the country. Where some of the incidents are happening, NRM is not there. And you need to know that UPDF and Uganda Police, it serves the president who is in power. It's non-partisan.
Yes, but
so
now the
police
president in power
NRM.
is from the NRM. And we say the NRM government is in power, taking control of everything.
Yeah, the NRM government is in power, but right now it's also traversing the whole country looking for votes.
So,
now let me ask you, I've seen His Excellency Munyagwa traversing the whole country. I've seen His Excellency Muntu traversing the whole country. I've seen Nandala Mafab, His Excellency from the FDC, traversing the whole country. You can mention them because we have how many presidential aspirants. Why is it that every single day, every single time, it's NUP?
Because
what is about NUP?
Because you're afraid that they have the numbers.
No one is afraid of anything.
Mr. Ocaya, I pick it from there. Still, they insist, the NRM people now say it is some misconduct of the youth in these elections, that the environment is getting hostile. Is it the reason as to why we are seeing the environment hostile towards the opposition forces, especially now the youth who are making the largest percentage of the population?
You know, it's quite very sad that even the event that happened in Gulu, the president as the chief in command, I don't know if he has come out to make a statement actually to, you know, to speak against the event. Yes, he serves as, currently he's the president of Uganda. And at the same time, he's a candidate. So as the president of Uganda currently, I expected him to come out and actually make a statement. And if possible, direct the right institution or body to investigate the matter, and the culprits must either be dismissed from the position they are holding. There, he will prove to the world that he's actually serving the interest of the people. But if you keep quiet, then that means it was intentional that that has to happen. You know, people have different strategies of winning elections. One of his strategies could be by, you know, indirectly, you know, getting such kind of acts happening so that people get to be discouraged from participating. Because if someone who values his life sees what happened in Gulu, trust me, it will be very hard for me to go and attend a rally, because I know I might be the next victim. And we should put in mind that when such kind of violence are promoted, let's have it in mind that individuals who go to practice their natural right, because every human beings have natural rights, right? Right to life, right to liberty, right? Now, if I go to exercise my right in the political process and they are beating me, yet, so for the case, let's say like I die, I have a family, I'm going to leave a child, I'm going to leave a wife to struggle. So before the security actors of this country, before they make some decisions or some actions, they need to be very critical and logical. The biggest problem in Uganda is most of our leaders are driven by emotions. They don't use their logic. So it's good to be very critical before you act. Think first.
Let me ask you this. Ms. Natasha here says there are some youth who conduct themselves poorly and provocate the police and the security operatives. What do you think? Is this true? Do you think it's true? And if yes, how can the youth now relate with these security personnel properly to avoid this confusion?
In a community, we have different characters, we have different behaviors. And that is why the element of security came in. We have the police to keep in law and order. I don't expect the army to actually be in such an environment where people are exercising their political rights. Because the role of the army is to protect the territory, the country from being invaded by, by the outsiders. So it's supposed to be the role of police to keep law and order. And the police is trained on how to handle different behaviors in different ways. So if there were culprits, pick those specific ones and let them face the law. But don't let the mistake of few individuals and everyone pays for it. That is what we need to look at. Why should I pay for the mistake of a few? That means the police is very incompetent. Because you are trained to manage the behavior of people who have gathered. You have to keep order.
All right.
So I was surprised to see actually it was the military beating
There's
beating
something
people.
I want to actually add on. I stand to be corrected, like I had it from someone, and I believe it was a reliable source of information. When we had just started our presidential trails, it was actually very peaceful for like 2 good 3 weeks. And guess what? There is a campaign that came up on Twitter. Some of you are so close and exposed to Twitter. Someone was saying, Museveni abala kachinga tanatuyisamu tear gas. You get it? Someone mentioned, what is NRM planning? Nga police has not yet come out to, to do chaos around with tear gas and everything. And also another person came out with information, was like, NUP must be grieving right now. That's why they are even having fundraising campaigns. I was interested in that. I was like, what do you mean NUP is grieving because cases are not happening? Someone was like, yeah, because every time people are dying, tear gas is happening, those videos are being captured, NUP is getting paid. Did you know that? And when I took my time like to dig deep down, I realized when we're in peaceful campaigns, guess what? We never appeared on CNN. We never appeared on Al Jazeera. You get? But after that incident of, where was he? There's some incident that happened, and tear gas happened. That same evening we appeared on an international Western TV.
Don't you think that is proof? If some people can be out there and say, we are not seeing the vibe in this campaign period.
I mean,
we are seeing no violence. Isn't it the government that has made people see campaigns and governance like that?
No, we need to
because they have grown up seeing these things happening, and now they think that's the order of the day. No. Why would they be surprised to see peace in the campaigns?
No, we all know.
She made a statement.
All know what happened.
Let me just ask you this quick. Just quick this.
Okay,
cool. Yeah.
We all know what happened in 2021. A lot of cases happened. Many young people died. Not only even young people, but also, many people died. Many people were imprisoned, and a lot happened in 2021 elections here in Kampala. And even His Excellency Museveni came out and even talked about those incidents that happened in 2021. And they cleared everything. They were like, yeah, mistakes happened, but this should not happen again. And guess what? All parties came out and called for peaceful elections, for peaceful campaigns. And that's what UPDF and Ugandan police was offering to people. Not for people to come out on social media and they are saying, as you know, campaigns,
because that's the narrative you have always pushed.
Exactly.
That's how they have seen governance.
No, that actually, for me, there's something to actually drew to me, I was like, maybe, like the way I've told you, there's something people get out of this. We need to believe and know that
So you are
some of our
helping them achieve that?
No.
By beating
some
them,
of
you're
our,
helping them?
No, some of our presidential aspirants are actually Western agents. You get? Are colonialist agents. That when
What
when
do you call colonial agents? Because that
no, they are
narrative has also been
colonialist
there.
agents
You-
and they are
how?
Western agents.
How are
they
they
are
Western
white agents. You get?
How,
and
how,
we all
how
know.
specifically, how are they the Western
That's why I
agents?
told you when we had peaceful elections, we had never appeared on CNN. We had never appeared on Al Jazeera. We all know that some TVs are there to show the bad things that are happening in our country.
You did something that called for international news
so
to come in.
So you mean
These
when we
news
were
channels
having
had to come
peaceful
in.
elections, we were doing
Because that's a
nonsense?
normal thing that's expected out of every democratic country.
Now
you
you
did something
actually-
that's not expected out of a democratic country.
So now you're telling me that when we had those first week of peaceful trails, maybe we were doing nonsense. Maybe people were not campaigning. Maybe people were not bringing out their manifesto.
Let me ask you, Ms. Natasha, if you wake up, can it make news? They say Natasha has woken up free and healthy. Can it make news? But if you suddenly die, God forbid, it is news because we were not expecting it would happen that particular
You're
moment.
exposed to social media.
Out of a democratic country like Uganda, they would not expect to see the opposition figures being brutalized, one in custody up to now, a full year, no bail, and we are seeing the country as if it's moving on.
Let me
It
tell you
makes
something.
news.
You're exposed to social media. I want you to know that we have some categories of people who cannot actually breathe without a camera appearing in their face. You know that?
And you are helping
We have
them
some,
achieve
we have
that.
those people who cannot even, you know, eat food and it goes inside their stomach when they have not, you know, said something bad about the country. We need to appreciate the fact that this is a developing country. Some things happen and, you know, we have to see it as a country and see how we can solve some issues. We can't say, even God said, you know, you cannot be 100% perfect. We are, you know,
okay,
sons and
Mr.
daughters
Ocaya,
of
you
a
had
man.
something to say.
Oh, no, it's fine, but something I wanted to say was, you know, we nowadays operate in a global world, whereby what happens in my area can actually be seen in any part of the world because of the digital advancement. So I think it's important for us to note that in the world we operate in right now, they are watching everywhere. And one of the drive is respect to human rights. Any injustice that happen in any part of the world, being in Uganda or any other country, other countries that, I mean, other partners that believe in democratic principles and believe in human rights must be able to speak against it and must be able to hold the perpetrators accountable. Why did you do this? So it's, I mean, I really feel sad from her submission where she's looking at getting, as you know, as a political party, getting visibility in the international media houses. I mean, that's not the right way of thinking. The right way of thinking is, yes, this has happened. How can this be addressed?
I think people in opposition need to tell people the truth.
What is the truth?
No, you see, the problem is you're spreading propaganda. You're spreading propaganda about the alternative.
Maybe if you're not a social media person.
Let me be realistic with you. You see, that's why I try to avoid myself from terming me as opposition. I am an alternative government. NRM is not going to be in power, I mean, for entire humanity.
Let me tell you something. I'm in NRM, but once it's off, I go with the ruling government that comes. It's our NUP, FDC,
let him make his submission.
So what I'm trying to say is the fight shouldn't be your opposition and I'm the government, I'm the regime in power. Because if it rains, right, it falls on all of us, right? All of us have to get where we're going to to take refuge. So whatever problem that affects any individual in this country, being it road, being it hospitals, being it bad education, It affects every individual. So we must look at what are these common problems that we need to address as government, as citizens, as leaders. We should stop this issue of blame games that you opposition playing. It's the politics of immaturity, and that is what the regime is doing. Politics of immaturity. Let us be mature citizens. This country belongs to us. This country will not go anywhere. It will stay here. But for us, we shall go. But the most important thing is, what legacy have you left? What legacy have you left?
And that's why I said it clearly to him. And I'm like, instead of us forming these, funny cases and funny propagandas and everything, like I've said, no one is perfect, you see. Also, the government of Mama 7 is not perfect 100%. But like the way you look at your woman dressed moving out and you're like, your hair is not combed well, first come back and comb it. You have seen something. So if you see something, dialogue has come, conversations have come. Sit down, discuss, look for better solutions. Isn't that the maturity you're talking about?
No, you see,
however, people, we are the same people who create that environment, who create those boundaries. You get? The other day, Lubongoya was somewhere speaking to the people. Unfortunately, he was given a microphone that had a yellow cover. You get? Then one of the foot soldiers, because for him he was actually not minding about it, ran to him and he was like, he removed it. You get? Then for him he laughed. You understand? Then my dad was like, okay, this is a microphone. Microphone can have a black cover, yellow cover.
But it's because
red cover,
whenever they
cover.
see yellow, there is something they think
Exactly.
about.
You see those boundaries they are creating? That's
But
what we should remove.
Aren't they created by the very government?
Aren't I wearing this? First, isn't this red? Should I throw it out because it's having this red here? I cannot do that.
Because of the psychological torture you people have had on this.
You see,
no
one
one has
thing
psychologically
she
tortured them,
doesn't understand is, so the way you shape the psychology of a human being determines how they are going to determines how they are going to act and behave in a community or in a society. And one of the biggest mistakes that the NRM government has made is to destroy the psychology of the citizens of Uganda, but not empower. Because people are now driven by emotion, by the mere fact that if I see yellow, I don't go into the meaning of yellow. I just automatically affiliated to this government who has been in power for 40 years and has failed to address the issue of what? Of this country, and is creating more mess. I don't know if we... I feel bad. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. No, let's be realistic. Okay, let me break it down to you. Number one, when you look at the institutions, they are being raped. You get what I'm trying to say? In a democratic government, institutions have to be independent, right? And make independent decisions for the interest of the country. Now, what the regime has done is to infiltrate and make these institutions very weak. That to the fact that even the head of that institution, when he's trying to do the right thing and he receives a phone call from nowhere, he changes the decision.
Mr. Chair, what needs to be done? What's the solution for this? How can we empower the youth now to take lead?
You see, I appreciate NRA. I was not there during NRA, but I like the fact it's called the 10-point program. The reason they came into power was meant to transform this country, but I don't know what happened on the way. I think they lost track. That is why some of the people decided to fall out. You get what I'm trying to say? I mean, they decided to to detach and even leave the party. But now, Mr. Museveni has been in power for 40 years. That means the citizens of Uganda have entrusted him and have trusted him for what? For 40 years. But what has he done? Yes, he has done some good things. But in his logical thinking at his age, I don't expect him to listen, because he claims that the citizens,
What should he do to cut it?
No, he claims that the citizens of Uganda are crying and asking him to go and serve him. Now, as an individual with your logical reasoning, you can be like, yes, I understand you people, you trust me, and you know that I still have the capacity, okay, to continue to serve you. But no, there are also other people that I have trained and have empowered, okay,
So
who are young and brilliant.
He should
I
let the
think
youth take over. That's what you're trying to say?
I mean, you see, I don't want to look at a specific category. I don't want to look at a specific category like youth, right? I mean, good governance must balance interest of all citizens. We have the youths, we have the adults, we have the persons with disability. I mean, the different categories. So what Mr. Museveni has to do, number one, is for him to step down. Okay? Once he steps down, then let him allow those people that he has mentored, those people that he has empowered, to come and occupy the offices, and let them prove their competence and ability by coming up with the right policies, right? Coming up with the right laws, empowering the institution, strengthening them to serve Uganda, to serve the people of Uganda, to serve the citizens of what? Of Uganda. But if he continues at his age that he's the only one, then he's not being very rational. I mean, you cannot be everything, and I mean, you cannot say that you're the only person, you know, who can be. The country is going to stay and he's going to go, right? And I appreciate, yes, he did some good things, but he should surrender. That's all what I can say.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Ms. Natasha Ahereza. What are the government initiatives so far that have been put in place to empower the youth to, participate in the governance of their country? Any initiatives by the government? Is there anything that the government has done to empower the youth so that they can get involved in the governance of their country? In brief, like in a minute.
Yeah, they are there, and very many of them. For example, when it comes to leadership and governance, as young people, we have a body where we participate and we are voted for. For example, we have the National Youth Council. National Youth Council is not about a party, it's not about what, but it's a body where young people come, discuss, converse, and see how they can better themselves. And we are represented from village level, parish level, sub-county level, district, up to national level. So we really appreciate that. Apart from that, youth have been included in the leadership of the government. We have youth MPs on regional level and national level. However, at the national level, we have only a national female youth MP. Then the regional level, both the female and male, they can.
So they can take part in those available positions?
Yeah, they can. And it's not about that, even if you have disability, you can take up them. And those positions, actually, they sit in parliament, and they're also included in decision making. My last question to you.
Let me put it to Mr. Ocaya,
yes,
and you will give your parting shots or last remarks. We've heard of reports that the youth are getting disinterested in politics and the governance of their country. Some reasonable number of the youth now trying to withdraw. What is the possible danger? In just seconds, then you give your last remarks.
The possible danger is the country is falling apart. Because the young people, like how I said in the beginning, are the pillar of this country. Once the pillar of a building is weak, what happens? It collapses. So it's very important that the government tries to motivate the young people to participate in the political process. If they don't do that, the future of this country is very worrying.
Oh, okay.
And just she made just to talk a little bit about the national,
please.
about the National Youth Council. I mean, it's a good initiative, right? It's a good initiative, but the problem with it is so partisan, very, very partisan, that to the point that when you look at the village, because its structures start from the village level to the parish level, and it goes upwards. Now, the youth have not been sensitized about this. What happened is information has been kept, right? And then a political party, let's say for this, let me use an example of NRM.
Please, seconds, and give
yeah,
your last
let me use an
message.
example of NRM. Being an independent body, it's only the members in the youth league of NRM who just register on the go and say, I want this position, I want this position.
Okay, thank you so much.
Which is
I believe those were your last
which
remarks.
is a lie.
So,
That's it. Say a goodbye to our viewer.
so my last remark is I need young people to know that citizenship is a virtue developed through participation. It is very, very important for you, the young people, because the country is in your hands and you're going to pass the country to the next generation, that you must participate in this political process, elect the right leaders. Please don't choose leaders because they have given you money. I'm told people vote because they've been given 2,000, 5,000. Your value is way, way too high.
Okay.
Actually, you're zeroing yourself down that a chicken is more
Thank
more
you so
valuable.
much,
So it's
Mr.
important
Ocaya.
they participate. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And then another thing is, I think it's important that the institution of this country, especially who are participating in the political process, must try so hard to empower the young people, and the young people to empower the young people so that the young people can be able to recognize and also challenge the injustice that is happening.
Ms. Natasha, give your last remarks in just 20 seconds.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to appreciate our dear viewers that have been with us from the start. Thank you so much. Both. I'm going to give out my last remarks. One, my advice goes to young people out there. Let us embrace becoming job creators rather than job seekers. Second, we need to stop blame games. Let us get out of our comfort zones and take up on some of the government initiatives, government programs that the government has provided to us.
Okay.
For example, at sub-regional levels, we have zonal hubs. Let us go and register and be part of them to own those little skills we can achieve such that we can earn a living. Another thing, young people who are out there and are having small businesses, embrace taking up initiatives of seed funds the government has provided to us. Look for those offices, register and get those funds, and let us develop ourselves and young people, not us being used in chaoses, in rampant things, for people to gain powers and money.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Natasha Ahereza. Thank you so much, Mr. Ocaya Kelvin. It's been a very healthy discussion, I believe. And to our viewer watching us, this is the Alternative TikTok TV, and this conversation will stay uploaded on all our social media platforms. Feel free to share to a friend who loves matters of national importance. My name is Kenneth Ruvatsimbira. Catch you some other time. Good afternoon.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.